So this video is a little bit awkward for me to talk about and definitely embarrassing. But if me talking about this and me being a little bit embarrassed can actually help you, live a more fulfilled life and have better relationships, I think it's worth it. So this video, I'm not debating the pros and cons of the movies, right? I'm not saying that it's horrible. I'm not saying if you consume it in moderation that it's bad. Like, there are a lot of people that watch some and it's no big deal. It doesn't affect their life. Me, I was not that person. It affected my life. Now, I wasn't like watching it like for hours a day or anything like that, but it was definitely affecting my life in some negative ways. I'm not saying never to touch out, right? Because touching out, honestly, in my opinion, is a healthy thing. There are all sorts of health benefits from, taking care of business. Not necessarily the touching of out that's the biggest issue. It's the facilitation or the use and consumption of the movies that really affects your life, and it affected my life in a not so great way. And today I want to tell you why and how it affected my life. I also want to tell you how I sort of got over it or overcame it, because I know that that's one of the biggest things, right? Guys are like, yo, I don't want to watch it, right? And then like an hour later, you're like, let me just see what's happening on. I know, right? And then I'm going to tell you some surprising things that happened as a result of me quitting. Gentlemen, today it's all about you and helping you be healthier, happier, and having better relationships. There are a bunch of downsides to consuming the movies, all right? One of the downsides is that it's not reality. It doesn't paint an accurate representation of what a physical relationship looks like or should look like between two people. They also can make you like super insecure, right? Because you see these dudes that are like hammering away for like hours with these things, and you're like, what the hell is that? And you're not built like that, and neither am I, and I'm not lasting for 45 minutes. It makes you a little bit weird and insecure. The other downside is it makes you feel kind of guilty, right? Or at least it did me. Right? When you're getting ready to look, you're like, yeah, mama, woo, baba. But as soon as you're done, right? You're like, crap. And you feel kind of bad. It's this constant cycle of beating yourself up after you beat yourself. If you got where I was going, gentlemen, drop me one of these. Dopamine? Are you kidding me? Like, literally, like, your brain changes the more you consume, all right? The more you consume, the more dopamine, right? That hit of dopamine, it's super addictive. You're like, yeah, mama, that's amazing. You do it again, but then every time you do it, right, boom, hit a dopamine. You're like, yo, let me do it again. Boom, hit a dopamine. But over time of doing it and consuming it, you actually need more and more like weird, freaky stuff to get you excited. And the other reality is that it warps your perception of women. I'm not like, yo, if you watch it, you're like a horrible person. And no. But what I'm talking about is, at least for me, you look at people differently. You look at spicy senoritas a little bit differently, and you look at your relationships differently. And for me, it was affecting my relationship, honestly. I realized that when I was watching that and doing that to Al, I wasn't as interested. My motivation would go down because I wasn't as like wanting it, because I just had it kinda, right? And so I found myself not going after and pursuing relationships as much as I should with my wife. All right, so now, guys, what I want to do is actually go over a few little strategies and tips in order to eliminate the consumption if that's something you're interested. Whether or not you're going on a no-fap journey or challenge and you want to totally like not touch it or do anything to Big Al at all, or you're just somebody that's like, yo, I need to get this under control and I want to stop because I'm going to feel better about myself, I'm going to be more productive, and I'll get to why and what happened later. All right, the first thing you need to identify are what are your triggers? What are those things that you look at or that you do during the day that makes you think, yo, maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's TikTok, maybe it's a YouTuber that you watch just because she's hot. Gentlemen, it doesn't matter what it is. Identify your triggers. The second thing you need to do is try to make the access as difficult as possible. Identify your triggers, make it as difficult as possible for you to actually perform that act or that bad habit, all right? And then it's about modifying your behaviors and doing something in place of the time that you were spending doing the bad habit, all right? One tip I would like to give you is actually an app. It is called BlockerX. They're today's video sponsor, and they are a game changer in terms of giving up the porn. In my opinion, BlockerX is the best app I have ever seen in terms of helping you stop consuming it. There are two things that really set BlockerX apart from other like blocking apps on the market. Number one is the community and the support. They've got over 100,000 active members that are all trying to overcome this addiction, honestly. and they're supportive. And the other thing that they do, guys, is it's not easy to uninstall, right? The biggest issue with a lot of the other blocking apps on the market is that you'll download it, right? You'll be like, I'm good. And then you're like, I'm not good. You uninstall and you go hit it, right? Here, you actually have an accountability partner. Not a buddy. It's kind of like a spot at the gym, right? If you're trying to lift or bench that like super heavy, like 415, he's there to help, right? And to pull it off your chest if you can. Well, your boy's there to help you. Be like, yo, stay strong. The other thing that's amazing is that this community is there to offer you support and help along your personal journey. BlockerX blocks over 8 million different adult sites. So even if you're going all like incognito, no, BlockerX is like, no. And then check this out. You try to go to your favorite, I just went to my old favorite site. A window pops up, says, yo, the site has been blocked. Are you needing help? Because we can actually help you if you're having urges. Guys, this app is next level, and I'm gonna link to it down below. You can install it on your Android, your Apple phones, also Windows PC, not to mention iOS. Bottom line, if you are somebody that is serious about quitting, I need you to hit that link down below, all right? What I would recommend is use the discount code ALPHAM, because that's gonna give you 20% off of a premium membership. Premium membership, that is the one that I personally would recommend. Whether or not you are trying to do the NoFap challenge, or whether or not you are just trying to feel better and stop feeling guilty and stop messing around with it, gentlemen, there is no better time to start than right now. Guys, hit the link down below, use the code ALPHAM, and install BlockerX. All right, guys, so now what I want to do is go over a few of the surprising things that happened to me when I actually quit. Number one is I felt better about myself. My confidence literally went through the fucking roof. I didn't realize how much my self-esteem was actually being affected by watching it, right? When I quit, I was like, yo, I felt good because I was actually accomplishing something and changing a bad behavior that I had, that I was upset. Like, even though like it's like no big deal, right? And that's one of the things that I think is kind of dangerous, is that people in today's world, with how much it's out there, are like, yo, it's no big deal, no big thing, it's not a big deal, why are you worried about it? For a lot of people, it isn't a big deal, it's no big deal, but for some, right, it is a big deal because it affects you. And for me, it affected me. I felt guilty, I felt bad, I felt like dirty and like I shouldn't be doing it, and it affected my self-esteem. When I stopped, I felt so much better about myself. The other thing that happened is that I was more motivated. I was more motivated to actually work and to do things and to work out. I felt great because, as you know, after you do that, sometimes you're like, ugh. You get a little tired, you're like, yo, I'm not really feeling it. My motivation and my productivity also skyrocketed. The next surprising thing that happened, I found more women attractive. It's amazing how that actually happens, right? Like women that you might not necessarily, or I should say on the movies, you'd be like, yo, like you wouldn't like think about, right? It's amazing what actually happens. You find beauty in places that you didn't necessarily see it before. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to start like hooking up with like wildebeest or anything like that, but I'm just saying that you find women and women. All I'm saying is that you appreciate beauty more. It's incredible. And the other thing that happened that was surprising, not surprising, every aspect of my relationship got better, all right? Our intimacy has never been better. Our freakiness has never been better. I was a better man. I was a better husband. I was a better partner. My drive, as in my drive to like go home and be like, yo, Spicy Senorita, why don't you come over here? Daddy wants to talk, right? That got a lot better too. Increased like big time. Because when you're touching it and doing things to yourself, you're just not like as like motivated, right? That energy, it kind of drops. But when you're not looking at the movies, right? You're like, yo, I gotta release the hounds, and you don't release it yourself. You go and seek other opportunities. That opportunity happens to be my incredibly sassy and spicy senorita, and our relationship got better in that way. And it got more enjoyable, it got more exciting, it got better. The other thing that happens is that you appreciate, when you actually have the opportunity to get freaky with somebody, you appreciate it a lot more because it's better, it's more enjoyable, everything is like intensified. It's amazing, honestly. That is the thing that kind of surprised me the most, is that like everything about the act itself, it's like I'm 18 again. Like I'm a young horny dude again, which is amazing, honestly. And you know, it's incredible. And I know that it's something that will change your life if you decide to actually give it up. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should never, ever, ever watch any, or if that's your thing with your partner, like you don't want to get like together, if that's your kink, that's fine. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about this and share this experience with you. It's not an easy thing to talk about. It definitely makes me uncomfortable because it's embarrassing. But I just wanted to share the process and the thought process behind it, because I know that if you are somebody that is struggling, or you are somebody that has been thinking, you know what, maybe I probably shouldn't look at this, I'm telling you, there is a way to stop. You just got to make the decision and then do it, execute, develop new habits. I mean, it's not easy. Any bad habit is hard to break, but you've just got to make the decision that you're worth it and your relationship is worth it. Every single aspect of your real relationship will get better and improve, I promise. Guys, thanks for watching. If you dug this video, drop me one of these so I don't feel like a perv.